So the first thing that you need to do is double click on the Minecraft Studio icon that will appear on your computer screen. It now opens up the computer program. Take your mouse right up into the right hand corner and make sure that it's now full screen. You're now looking at the working area. The white area that you can see is where we're going to position our project. The blue area around the outside I like to think of as my desktop. Now we can zoom in and out of this area so we can actually see the whole page in one go if we choose to. We'll talk later about portrait and landscape images, but the first thing that we need to do is get to know some of the features of this brand new program. Along the top bar you'll see where you choose your new projects. Then you can open an existing project, you can save a project, or you can print it. Next we get the opportunity to select all the items that are actually on the screen, and we can work with them all in one go. We can cut, we can copy and paste, and of course we can delete our images. We can also undo and redo, which you'll find incredibly useful. Now the next features are very helpful. When it comes to the grid, we've got a choice of having the grid on or off. You might prefer to work with a blank page. We've also got a very special button, and this allows to show you the print margins. Now if you can print edge to edge, then you won't actually see anything appear, but the program's so clever that it actually reads and talks to your printer and positions the very faint grey line around the outside edge. And then of course we've got our ruler. Now the ruler we can have on or off, which you'll find incredibly useful. The other feature we've got is whether our grid's in inches or centimetres, and of course pixels. But I know that I'm a fan of inches. Diane prefers to work in centimetres, so we're going to work in centimetres for the purpose of this project. Next we go up to group and ungroup. Now this allows us to select a whole image and a selection of other images and group them together. That means that we can change the colour of them all in one go, or we can ungroup them at any point. Tiling, lots of you will be familiar with, but we'll be showing you more about tiling, how to make your own borders and backgrounds. There's lots more you can do with cropping, and that allows you to go into an image and actually cut the sides so that you get just the part you want. Now, digital punching is a very exciting feature. In the shapes column, you'll find a whole selection of different shapes. Imagine these are just like your paper punches, where when you punch out the image, you actually get to keep either the piece that you've punched or the shape around it, and that image is actually punched out. So you'll notice how we've got keep inner and keep outer. That's where you choose which of them that you want to actually work with. So we've taken a look around the top bar of the screen, but there's still more hidden away on here. If we go across the bottom screen, you'll see that you've actually got some of the other things that are important to us. Like for instance, it shows us and displays our page size. It also displays the grid settings and also the position and width and height. That's where we actually do all of our sizing. We'll be looking at that in more detail. Now we're going to go back to just under some of the tools that we were looking at and look at our files, our features and our effects. Well, files, of course, shows us all of the files that we've got displayed, and this is where we're going to be going to find our artwork and any artwork from existing Minecraft Studio CDs that you may already have in your collection. If we look at features, there's lots of things in here, but this is the most exciting thing when it comes to actually working with text, because we've got a very special new colour picker. We'll be showing you how that works, but there's also a whole host of selected colours that we've put in there for you to play with. And finally, we've got effects. Now, effects you may be familiar with are hue, opacity features, rainbow, saturation, contrast, brightness, etc. But what you won't be familiar with and are new and exciting are emboss, swirl and the colour boost and faded edges. These are going to create some amazing effects with your artwork. We can't wait to show you how to use them. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is find an image. To find an image, you'll go into and drop down from your desktop into MCS Artwork. In My Artwork, you'll see a list of all of the different CDs. And then as you click on it and they open up, the artwork will be displayed. To take an image and place it on the page, all you do is go over to the image, click on it, drag it over to the white area, our working area, drop it, and there it is ready for you to work with. Remember, we've got our grid, our ruler, everything that we need to be able to work with and align our image. You'll notice brand new on this edition are the lines down the centre and across your grid. They allow you for positioning of the centre point of your design. Once you've actually created your first image and you're working with it happily, you may want to go on and then open another page. To do that, all you're going to do is go over to New, where you selected your first page, open a second one, and a blank page will instantly appear. If you want to work with a grid, you can put the grid on, you can have your margin on there, and of course the ruler, as we've been talking before. So now we can open and take another image. At this point, you might want to choose an image from your own selection, perhaps even a photograph or something that you've collected, or maybe even an image from another Minecraft Studio CD. Remember, this program will work with any JPEG image, and it's literally as instantaneous as we just did, repeating the process, dragging the image over and dropping it on the page. You may be wondering where the first page has gone to. Well, by going back along the top, we can actually click between the pages. The great thing about this means that whether we've got 1 page, 2 pages, or 3 or more pages needed to complete a project, we can simply have them all on our screen at once. And of course, then we can print them one after the other. So now we've taken an overview of the Minecraft Studio program, let's have a look at some of the other features in depth. So now we're going to explain more about the Effects tab. We brought up another image and we've actually dragged it over to where the effects are so that we can see the effect that we get each time we change one of the sliders. The very first one you'll see is opacity. This is very exciting because what it does is it allows you to fade the image as you slide the bar until you get the effect that we would get with beautiful translucent vellum. You can make the image disappear completely if you choose to. The next button that we're going to look at is contrast. This allows you to tone down the colour. And then finally, we've also got our brightness. And here you can see how you can really intensify the light and the dark of the colour. And that's what's so exciting, because this is the button that we use if we actually want to create silhouettes. And hopefully we'll get the opportunity to share some more ideas with you on that one. Now, colour is the most exciting button of all. Here we have got the opportunity to be able to change the shade of the whole image. So with Hue, we go through not only the blues and the greens, but the purples and the reds, and the whole image changes to tints of that one colour. The rainbow button, we believe, is unique to Minecraft Studio. And here it actually rainbows the image. And you'll be noticing how those beautiful sweet peas are changing colour, as is the background, but almost in a kaleidoscope effect. It's like your lucky dip button. And then finally, we've got our saturation. And now saturation is again something that you'll find very useful if you want to change images to black and white. You can also work with this and play with the intensity of colour. So have fun trying out all of these different colour effects. But there's more. And for embossing, we're just going to have a look at how this works. May even play with the image to show you some different effects. The first thing that we're going to do is actually change the colour of the whole picture. Now, don't be worried that it's suddenly gone grey, because as we now bring the width button and slider across, you'll see how you can start to increase the depth of the embossing, just like you do when you make an embossed impression on a piece of paper. By adjusting the amount and the width together, you will get different textures and different effects. Now, knowing you as crafters, if you're anything like me, you'll want to play with colour too. And that's where we've got this fabulous colour boost button. By playing with the red, the green and the blue, you'll be able to change the colour of the embossed effects that you've got. You'll be able to adjust the brightness, and you'll also be able to get the image to look as if you've got beautiful dense design with lovely deep embossing. Enjoy playing with it, because I know that that feature is going to be so much fun.